You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. We have spent a good amount of time here over the past month really dissecting this LSU portal class and all the needs. And by now, if you've heard me say it once, you've heard me say it plenty. The Tigers have two needs left. And as a matter of fact, you don't even need to hear me say it. Brian Kelly said it point blank back on that December the 21st interview when he was meeting with the media. They had Patrick Payton done. They were announcing it the next day. And he said point blank, you'll probably see us address the offensive line and the back end of our defense. He was talking about safety. So what I have told you here, and I've told you on effectively every platform I'm on, from my Locked on LSU podcast or doing hits on other shows, other stations, is that I've been told that LSU has silent commits at offensive tackle and at safety on teams playing in the college football playoff. Some people wonder how that might be possible. As I've explained, just very quickly for those that haven't heard it, certainly there are tampering rules that would prevent a school from contacting a player. But in this era, every player has an agent, a rep, a third party, a family member who effectively goes out and shops their relatives or their clients' services to see what the market may be. And so a lot of these things are done before a player ever really enters the portal because they know what their market is, or at least they know there will be a robust market for that player. I can give you an example. There was a player at an SEC school who that player's agent was very actively engaging members of the LSU staff to try to see if LSU would be interested in their client's services. And it was an offensive lineman, and They engage in those conversations. Well, ultimately, that player elected to never go in the portal, stay at their school. So this is nothing you'll ever hear, and no name that you'll ever hear, because this player never entered the portal. And it might have quite honestly been a situation of the agent playing both sides against the middle just to see who would come up and get the best deal, or just to try to leverage that attention to get a better deal from their current player. I mean, it's the way these things are going, and quite honestly, that's what good agents do. Good agents get the best deal for their client. So all that to say, I give you that context so you understand that even if LSU does have silent commits, I'm using that loosely, quote unquote, silent commits, handshake agreements, verbals from an agent, third party, whatever, for players that are still playing, you cannot get left holding the bag. There's nothing binding there. We talked about it with Tamarcus Cooley. The reason LSU is still actively pursuing Cooley, the safety from NC State, who's visiting Ole Miss today and is supposed to be at LSU on Thursday. The reason they're pursuing that, even though they have a silent commit, presumably, is what if you don't? What if a Bryce Underwood situation pops up? What if that guy does enter the portal, and now all of a sudden, when other people know he's in the portal, boom, there's a more robust market? I told you the C.J. Daniels story. A lot of people wondered, why did C.J. Daniels go into the portal? Well, C.J. Daniels was going to Auburn. There was a teammate from Liberty that was going to Auburn. They had made contact through his third party, whatever, and he was going to Auburn. So Daniels goes into the portal. Well, as soon as he goes into the portal, he gets all this interest. He takes a visit to Ole Miss. He ends up at Miami. They made better deals, better offers, better situations, whatever. Maybe he wanted to live in South Beach. I don't know. So I guess the point is, you can't just assume or take for granted that deal, quote unquote, I'm using these terms very loosely, but I think you understand what I'm saying, is going to get done. So LSU is right to continue vetting all possible options, because there's only so many ways that I can say this. You are not kicking off next year against Clemson without adding a safety. Well, Brian Kelly said point blank, it's safety and it's offensive line. Well, look at what they've done at the offensive line. They've added Braylon Moore at center. They've added Josh Thompson from Northwestern, who played guard this year. Now in 2023, he played tackle. 2024, he played guard. And he can play either. But my understanding is, if they do in fact add a tackle, then Thompson will play guard and they'll get a portal tackle. But if they don't add a tackle, then Thompson is capable of playing tackle and would likely kick out and play there. But you'd love to have him at guard. So you're going to continue pursuing tackles. And even if this tackle that you have, you've been talking through the intermediary or whatever of a player in the college football playoff, if that player lands at LSU, fantastic. But what if he doesn't? You got to make sure that you leave no stone unturned. And so today, here on Wednesday, there's a couple of names that have popped up in the portal, some veteran offensive tackles. One is Connor Moore from Montana State in the FCS, and the other is Monroe Mills, who is on his third school and heading to the fourth. Now, I am told that LSU has interest in Moore and not so much Mills. Mills is going to play his sixth season. He's a guy that was a class of 2020 prospect. He originally signed with Oklahoma State, played in one game in the COVID year, one game in 2021, hit the portal. He goes to Texas Tech, plays in 9 games in 2022, 11 games in 2023, goes to Louisville this year in 2024, played in 11 games and played both left and right tackle. He played 260 snaps at left tackle, 306 snaps at right tackle. So a veteran guy going into his 6th year who's played at Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, and Louisville, has 1 year of eligibility remaining. He's in the portal, but I'm told LSU maybe not so much interested in Mills. It's Connor Moore that they're more interested in. He's got 2 years of eligibility remaining. This is a guy who was a smaller guy coming out of high school, about 280 pounds. Now he's up to 6'5", 310. In 2022, again, Montana State's in the FCS, by the way. So he played 3 games and took a red shirt in 2022. In 2023, as a redshirt freshman, started 12 games at left tackle, was a freshman All-American. And then this year in 2024, he played the first 3 games at guard and then moved back to left tackle and started 9 games at left tackle, and he was first team all-conference. So you're talking about a guy now who's got 2 years of eligibility remaining, has started at both guard and tackle, was first team all-conference, was a freshman All-American, and has grown into his body, is now 6'5", 310. There is always the question of, with a player like this, do you wonder about, and you certainly do, but how easy might this player be able to transition from the FCS level to the SEC? And that is a legitimate question, and I don't have the answer, but that's where you say, do you trust your scouting? Do you trust your ability to scout these players and determine if this is someone you think can come in and play? For what it's worth, again, this is at the FCS level, but this year at Montana State, according to Pro Football Focus, his offensive grade was a 76. Pass blocking grade was just under a 70. And his run blocking grade was a 77. To have good run blocking tackles, I think that would probably be beneficial for LSU. Now, again, you're talking FCS to SEC, but that's the guy to keep an eye on, as I'm told. I don't have any insight as to whether or not he's got a lean. My understanding is LSU's trying to convince him to take a visit. So we'll see. But it's a guy with 2 years of eligibility remaining. And the other thing to file away, as we keep talking about all these portal guys, remember, here you're talking about a guy in Connor Moore, 2 years of eligibility remaining. We talked about Donovan Green, the tight end from Texas A&M, 2 years of eligibility remaining. Talked about Tamarcus Cooley. He's got a couple of years of eligibility. He's actually got 3 years of eligibility remaining. But that, he just finished his redshirt freshman year at NC State. Point being, I think Brian Kelly and the staff, Austin Thomas, they're looking at their roster going, yes, we need to add portal guys, but can we add guys with more than 1 year of eligibility so that we're not back in the same spot again after next season where you've got 15 guys that were starters out of the portal that are all gone, and now you're right back in the portal trying to get more portal guys. Can you add guys with multiple years of eligibility that can contribute for you for 2 years while you continue recruiting and building your young depth behind it? I think that's an ideal situation as they strike that balance between your high school recruiting and your portal recruiting. So we'll keep an eye on it. Connor Moore is the name, as I'm told, to keep an eye on out of Montana State, the newest offensive tackle to hit the portal. LSU's trying to get him on campus for a visit. If they do, we'll certainly tell you the latest as we get it. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.